2-strand twists, and I feel that a lot of the time when people start their dreadlocks out with 2-strand twist, typically after their hair has matured quite a bit, with being dreadlocks, they'll tend to start doing the 2-strand twists again, even after their hair is fully mature. I mean, we've seen this with John Morant, and if you guys know Activerse on YouTube, he actually did do 2-strand twists right before he got dreadlocks, and quite often he does 2-strand twists even now. And there's a whole list of people that actually do this as well, that actually started out with 2-strand twists as a method of starting out, and like I said, they do it as hairstyles now. But another thing that I always like to mention with people that do hairstyles with their dreadlocks is how their dreadlocks look outside of the hairstyles. And I mentioned this typically with John Morant and also with Lil Baby as well, which I really like both of their dreadlocks. But one thing you notice about both of their sets of locks is that within the hairstyles, their hair is nicely maintained and looks very well put together. But outside of the hairstyles, their hair tends to be a little bit more puffy and a little bit on the frizzy side. But obviously that all goes down over time and over the years. And that's why I always encourage everybody, if your hair is frizzy or if you're not liking the way that your hair is looking at the moment, then try a hairstyle. And hairstyles do quite a few things. And just to name 3 of those, the first one is obviously clean up your actual look. And I always say to partner a hairstyle with getting a clean fade or a nice lineup, just makes everything look nice. And then second, this provides maintenance for your hair. So say you do twisting with gel and then you put it into a hairstyle, it allows you to hold the maintenance. A hairstyle actually helps mature your hair. So not only are you maintaining the hair, but it helps mature it. So say for instance you did 2-strand twists, or you did cornrows, or you did box braids, whatever hairstyle you did, with it being held in that position for that long, it allows the dreadlock to harden up and be even tighter. Because as the dreadlocks become tighter, they become more mature, and it's just easier to do anything with them as far as hairstyles, washing the hair, doing activities like sports or swimming. There's a whole lot that comes with maturity. Now one thing we see right here is he's wearing a hat, and this is another thing as well. Just like a hairstyle, I feel that wearing a hat adds a lot to the actual hair itself. Now of course it's kind of counterintuitive because you're covering it up for the most part, but with him having longer dreadlocks, I think it just draws more attention to them. And if you're ever looking for another way to add style, I personally prefer beanies over an actual ball cap, but it's really a personal preference. But one thing you notice in this photo compared to the photo that we just seen is that his dreadlocks are becoming a little bit more tighter, which like I said, means that his dreadlocks are becoming more mature. Now of course there are ways for you to mature your dreadlocks yourself, like for instance using the Dreadlocks crochet hook. It allows you to mature your hair at the pace that you want them to mature at. And you can honestly have that within a day if you take the time and actually know how to use the tool. And of course you can learn more information on that on Dreadlocks.com, which is linked down below. But here we see him again with a 2-strand twist, and overall just gives it a very clean look. The thing I like about 2-strand twist is it almost gives it a cartoon effect, and I use it as a lack for better words, because it makes the dreadlocks look really bulky and, you know, like as if someone drew it out in a cartoon. And I feel like it just brings so much more of an emphasis to your hair versus just having obviously your hair out very normal. And I feel that as time progresses, 2-strand twist is becoming one of the most popular hairstyles with dreadlocks, because before it was more of just cornrows or even box braids. But I feel like box braids aren't as popular as I used to be. And 2-strand twists are really becoming one of the #1 hairstyles for dreadlocks. But I do want to hear you guys' comments down below what you think about that hairstyle and what do you think is the best hairstyle with dreadlocks. But overall, Cochise has some pretty interesting dreadlocks, although they are very traditional. What I mean by traditional is he started out with some sort of, you know, twisting with gel method or 2-strand twist method. Either way, he started out a traditional way because his dreadlocks are all cylindrical, they're all about the same size. And they look very well maintained, so typically that means they started out with a traditional method. But you guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and also comment down below who you guys want to see